Hello all, welcome back. Right, there's a game literally, in fact 2 games about to launch, remastered of absolute classics that I enjoyed 25 years ago. The original Soul Reaver launched. God, you probably can't even see that, can you? So, come on, get that light just right, will you? There's got to be a way. there you go. Yeah, Soul Reaver 1 and 2. Wow, what games. I'm going to tell you about them. Maybe it'll convince you to go out and buy it. Who knows? But let's get into it. Right, the original Soul Reaver. Again, sorry about the light. Crystal Dynamics. In fact, it was Crystal Dynamics and who else? I seem to remember it was somebody else. Silicon Knights! I nearly forgot you guys. I do apologise. But anyway, the game was originally launched back in 1999 for the PlayStation. It also came out on PC. And then eventually, a few years later, I think it was 2000, it actually did hit the Dreamcast. Now, in all fairness, the Dreamcast is a better version to play if you want to play the OGs. But it's about to be remastered. In fact, it has been remastered. What am I on about? It's about to be. It gets launched in a few days' time. That and the second game in the series. Now, even though this is Soul Reaver 1 and 2, it's not technically correct. This is actually the second game in the series, and this is the third game in the series, because the original game is called Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. But they wanted a different protagonist, and the story that this follows is incredible. But anyway, what is it like? If you think back to original Tomb Raider games, yes, big blocky things, it plays very, very similar. It has great 3D graphics, it has fantastic problem solving, but where this one won hands down over the original Tomb Raiders was with vampires, and it actually had, for me, better action. And it was a brilliant game to play. I loved this so much. I signed the online petition when it was out, asking for this to be remastered or remade. 25 years though have passed, and now we're finally getting close. I believe it's the 10th of this month. We'll be able to play this game again on modern systems. So, why am I raving about it? Why is it so good? Well, back in the day, this did something that no other game could actually quite do, and that was change the plane of existence. So it's a bit like swapping worlds. You're in one world, but you're in the other. Now, you have to do that in this game to overcome certain obstacles or to get round things, and it did it sublimely. It actually was setting the benchmark for this sort of different style of gameplay. In this, you're going from, if I remember correctly, the normal realm to the astro realm. And in there, it's filled with lost souls, people that have died, and people that feed on those souls. And that's effectively what you are ultimately. But you don't start off that way. You are viciously killed by your creator, Kain, who was the head vampire. Now, just to do a quick rewind there on Kain, because this game comes 100 years later in the storyline from the original. And Kain doesn't want to die ultimately. He's looking to dodge or skip or find another way of him to remain on the throne without sacrificing himself for the good of Nosgoth to restore the pillars of balance within the game. And how he does it, I'll be honest, he goes from villain to hero so many times it's untrue. But anyway, I digress a little. Within the game, Soul Reaver, Raziel surpasses Kain in his abilities. He actually grows a set of wings. And obviously Kain don't like this, so Kain decides to get rid of it. So he rips the wings from him, and he has his brethren, Raziel's brethren, cast him into the, I think it's the Fires of Doom, I think they're called, I can't remember. But anyway, he falls then for a millennium, doesn't actually die, but is reborn from a vampire to what is now a Soul Reaver, a devourer of souls, and that's what sustains him. Where obviously with vampires they suck blood to live, Raziel doesn't anymore. He'll devour your soul to live. And then the game starts off from there. Raziel has to find himself. He finds out all about the history of Nosgoth and what's happened. And is he being manipulated and tricked? I think so. But decide for yourselves. And as the game progresses, the story progresses. Now, it's this part that had me absolutely hooked. I think the story in this is brilliant. It's one of the best stories that has ever been produced for any game, but it's only as good as its voice actors as well, and the voice acting was fantastic, absolutely incredible. And to name the main ones, and I'm going to have to look over a second, the main guys, so Simon Templeman and Michael Bell, they were the voice protagonists of Kain and Raziel, and the only other one I'm going to mention is Tony J. He was playing a particular role in the original game, the original Blood Omen, but he was basically playing the Elder God, and the voice acting is just sublime. It is so good. It just enriches the story. And it goes on from there. There's loads of different characters that will pop in, like Mobius, I think it's the Time Lord, who will make an appearance, and almost try to throw you a curveball at times on what directions you should be taking and who you should and shouldn't trust. And it just progresses from there. It does, obviously near the end of the first game there, start delving into time travel, of which the second game picks up on that. But the game within the entire series is just one thrill ride from the other. Now, bearing in mind that even though this is Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2, that's not the correct numbers in the series, because the first game is Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. This is the second. This is the third, although really it should have been the fourth, because when they made this, they were actually working on Blood Omen 2 at the time. But this original game was that big a success, and bear in mind, back then in 1999, selling ultimately 1.5 million copies worldwide was a massive achievement and an absolute runaway success. And the two main reasons for that also, it got critically acclaimed, because one of the faults of the original PlayStation was when you're playing a game like this, I'm sorry, and you can't see the damn thing, can you? It's probably easier if I just hold up the bloody booklet like that. One of the reasons and one of the faults the original PlayStation had was when you were playing games like this, you would pause. It would pause and you'd have to wait for the levels to be loaded in. They were very clever. It did away with that. You don't have any of that in the original Soul Reaver. So that was a feat within itself. and the actual changing of the realms from normal to the spectral realm, which you will have to do to overcome certain obstacles and to get past certain things. That was absolutely sublime. I think other games had tried it up to that point but had not succeeded. This one didn't just succeed, it surpassed all expectations, and it was just an incredible feat, and what an achievement by the developers. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But the game just had you hooked. It was one of those games you could not put down. Impossible to put down. So, like I say, that is the third game in the series. Blood Omen, because the success of the original, Blood Omen 2 was put on the back boiler. This was rushed through. Now, this is missing levels. The lost levels, I think they like to call it. Whether or not we will get to see those maybe in the remastered version, I know they like to put little bits of extra stuff in there. I'd love to see it, but because they wanted to get this game out so quickly, there was a big chunk of it that was cut out. I do believe we're going to see lots of interviews within the remastered games, so I'm really looking forward to it. Not to just play the game again on a modern system, but to actually get it all from the horse's mouth this time about who did what, where and when, and how the whole thing came together. So, like I say, Blood Omen 2 is the fourth game, and then you've got the very last game, which is Defiance, and that's where the story sort of concludes. Could it carry on? Possibly. Could we have some sort of prequel? I'd like to think so, because the timeline of when Kain is originally created as a vampire in Blood Omen to Soul Reaver, over 100 years have gone past. There's plenty of time in between there to actually see exactly how Kain took over the whole of Nosgoth. Would be very, very interesting to watch and to play, to be quite honest. So, I don't know if I've gone into enough detail. I actually implore you that if you are really into any form of adventure puzzle solving games with absolutely outstanding voice acting, dialogue and story, you need to be buying these. And I do appreciate that for some of you, these were out before you were born. I get it, I really do get it. But this is a game you do not want to miss out on. We've got another one coming up in the near future, and I'm going to do another video on that as well. So keep a lookout for that one. That's another remaster that's coming out, hopefully near the end of December. And again, another one I've been screaming about for ages that somebody should do. Right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I don't know if I have or I haven't sold it to you enough. If I haven't, well, fair play. If I have, enjoy. You can pre-order it now, I believe you get a 10% discount. Right, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting me. Catch you lot all again. Take care. Woohoo!